So how did they go about it? What did they do? Well, they go through the preparation phase of this. They're going to do the same thing that I just talked about. They're going to be ready to make this attack against your network. So you also want to go through that same preparation phase. You want to be on top of the game with a game plan just like they have. And then you want to conduct the attack and then have this conclusion. Now the conclusion of your attack against your network, and I hate to call it an attack, but of your analysis should include a report and what we might call a piece of evidence. The evidence, of course, saying, this is what I was able to do. Here it is, a screenshot, a capture, a printout, something that shows that you were able to take that kind of an attack in. Now, there are lots of modes of ethical hacking. You might attack via a remote network, it might be a dialed-up network. You might be looking from security from inside your own local network. Don't forget about this idea of stolen equipment. And not just stolen equipment. What do you do with your old equipment? You know, a lot of companies give their stuff away to schools or nonprofit organizations, but the hard drives they give away can have critical information that your company might not intend to give away. You know, it's not enough just to think you've erased or done a format over this, because I can still get that information off that drive. A lot of companies that I've worked with, some nuclear engineering labs, not only do they hit that thing and with several, I don't want to call them erasing of the information, but overwrites, but they also try to degauss that drive and then they shred it. So they do everything they can to make sure that their critical data can never be found. Don't forget social engineering. The biggest part of hacking, almost 50% of what a real hacker does, as opposed to what we call a script kiddie, is getting on the phone and getting that information. You know, Kevin Mitnick is popular for having been one of the biggest hackers on the run, wrote a book about him, and spent some time in prison for his hacking. But he tells you over half of what he did was picking up the phone, calling Motorola and asking them to send him their source code, and they did. And then physical entry. That's another way in which a hacker, and as you as an ethical hacker, should look at your network. Now, physical entry, is your server locked up? Because if I can touch your server, your router, whatever equipment it is, if I can touch it, physically have access to it, I can own it in just minutes. So when it comes to security testing, we want to take it from a couple of points of view. Do you want to do a test with what we call the black box, not knowing anything about your network? Do I want to look at it as though I'm an insider coming after you, the white box testing? Or that gray box, which might be another internal test with a combination of working from outside with help from the inside. And then, like I said, you should be able to deliver a report, detail the problems, list out all the vulnerabilities, and, as I said before, have that piece of evidence. And one more time, I'm going to remind you that before you ever do any type of network test, please have that proof for you on paper that says that you were supposed to do and conduct that kind of evaluation. Now, there are plenty of places you can go to get information on the web. You can go to the site www.mile2.com. We'll have plenty of links for you to be able to look at to go and get some of the up-to-date information about what hackers can do, what vulnerabilities are out there, statistics and information, and basically links that will help you be able to get more of that information. Just remember that the statistics can constantly change, but one thing is for sure, the number of attacks are always going up, the complexity of the attacks are rising, the skill level needed by that attacker is certainly dropping.